Hi, so the bees are buzzing. They're looking for somewhere to live. I'm presuming they're solitary bees, but they're very noisy. Anyway, it's going to get cold, so they're going to start hibernating soon. And I live in the studios in the woods, so it's full of wildlife, which is great. I love it. I don't mind. Anyway, today's little demo is all about a little sunflower and not the dog in the background. All right, so and this is the finished product for you to view. So it's really all about wet into wet, contrast as well, light and dark. I haven't really been paying huge amount of attention to the actual colours. It's more about tones, though there are some people who would say there's no such thing as tone, there's just contrasting colours. So whatever you think yourself. Okay, so have a go, have a look, have a go, and let me know what you think. Give me the little thumbs up down there. Thank you. So I'm drawing the little sunflower, which you saw. I'm afraid you can't see it in this video, but anyway, so I'm just drawing it, looking at the shapes, measuring with my eye, the shapes between the shapes. I'm not being terribly careful. It's just, it's a nice, free, loose exercise. You can see the paints that I'm used there. They're my nice new paints from the range, I think. I bought them in. Pastel colours, I thought I'd try them out. Okay, so, and in a few minutes I'm about to, so I've started using the lemon yellow and the cadmium yellow from the new paints. Then the video obviously stopped working here, apologies. I've started adding in the two browns, the light browns. You can see them there at the top layer of the paint pan. So I've now decided that the colours weren't strong enough, really, to be honest. So I'm moving to my Gansai Tenbai paints. As you can see on the right, they're lovely, luscious pigments, and I'm deliberating over what colour to put in the background. So I'm using the kind of sap green with a darker green, and I'm picking out the petals, the edges of the petals. So painting into the negative, painting the space behind the object, the spaces between. Painting the negative is a very good way of making objects stand out from each other. Also, every object has a shape, and it's great to look for the shapes. You can see the petals being picked out, and I'm darkening and lightening the green as I go here. So that's okay there. Keep going. Takes a bit of time. It's kind of backwards and forwards, and I'm going to stay quiet for a few minutes, a few seconds, until we get to the next stage. So I've done the background for the moment. This works in layers. I'm working wet into wet each time, but I allow each layer to dry so I can see how well it's worked and if I need another layer. Like this one here, you can see where the ochre browns have worked their way into the petals, and that's fine because there's a lot of tone in the petals themselves. They're not all bright. Trying to reserve that little white, the little light area in the middle. So I thought I'm going for kind of slightly more red, light red colour there. A bit of tissue just to stop it running where I don't want it to go. Just putting the brush into it to take back out a little bit of colour. Clean dry brush, you see the way that there kind of just pushes it back up. Just so that it doesn't encroach too much, and just to keep the light. It'll creep back into it, but it'll be very light. Okay, so just more of the same really. It's like a dance, backwards and forwards, putting it on. If I don't like it, taking it off, lightening it up, put a little bit of the darker tone in there, and just seeing if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll probably take it back out again, lift a little bit there because it got a little bit too dark, you see, just to create contrast between the lights and the darks. So now, using some more of that brown with a little bit of blue to really, I want to make it pop. I want to see the difference between the inner part of the flower and the petals themselves, so that they stand out one from the other. The darks are dark and the lights are light. Right, now, so again, lifting out, because when you're working wet into wet, things run around the place. So we just have to kind of, again, balance it out. Take a bit out, you see, dry brush there. Tidy it up a little bit. Just backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. You don't want to do too much of this because it can end up looking overworked. So sometimes I just leave it and think, it's fine. It'll do. It's grand. You know, it's looking quite pretty now. So, yeah, happy enough with that so far. Probably let it dry and see how it looks. Right, now for the last stage, it's just a little bit lacking in depth. So I'm going to, if you look at the original, and there's a dog in it, but left or right, the sunflower stands out very well because the background is darker, quite dark. So to start with, I'm going to, using now this green from my Gansai Tenbai, a little bit of dark kind of Prussian-y blue, I think. No, it's a dark green mixed in with it. I want these. So now I'm working wet on dry, and I'm working quite strong. So, because as I said, I'm looking for contrast. That lovely green. That's a lovely emerald green. Now from the Gansai Tenbai. Use your instinct when you're using colours, you know, kind of, you know, just try it. Try a colour. You can take it off if you don't like it. It doesn't have to live there forever. And if nothing else, you've learnt what it does and what it doesn't do. I said to people, lose the fear. Do it anyway. I think it was a book, wasn't it? Anyway. So that's the background gone into it. So I'm going to see the way if I let this here, just let it run. Let it run, let it do things, because there are different things happening in the backgrounds, and it's nice to suggest. To me, one of the powers of watercolors is its power of suggestion. So there could be other flowers in the background, it could be in a border, it could be anything. And while it's wet, you can let it run everywhere. The paint will follow the water. And then you get some nice bits of separation happening there. And that one could be a leaf, you know, it could be anything. Move it around. Because this piece of paper is small, I don't have it on a board, but it's not a bad idea to have something on a board. But I wouldn't stick it down to the table that you're working on, because then you can't do this. You need to be able to move your painting, I should say, around. So I'm going to get my orange from these Gansai Tenbai and just put a little bit more, because it's faded when it dried, because I used a lot of water on it before. So now got a little bit of green running in there that I don't really want, so I'm just going to take it out and come back in here. Now I don't mind a bit of green going into some areas because there are petals that are underneath, and there will be shadow on them, and it's quite possibly it'll be a green shadow, you know. I'm just going to take out a little bit of that there, because it's just going to puddle and run back up and create a cauliflower, which I don't mind, but I just don't want it. And it's my picture. I'll cry if I want to. Okay, so for the middle, I'm going to go for, where's my brown? There's my brown. So this is